Good evening, everyone. We're continuing with 3 minutes of Tehillim. We are up to Perek, Kuf Chav Zayin, Psalm 127. So 2 points that I want to focus on from this Perek. The first is a theme that when a person works and puts an effort into anything, any opportunity, any goal, any accomplishment, they achieve nothing on their own if they don't have Hashem's help. The pasuk says, "Shav lachem mashkimei." In vain you rise up. Kum, you get up. Me'achrei sheves, or you stay up late. Ochei lechem ha'atzavim, toiling hard for the bread that you eat. Kain yitain lidido sheina, and He, Hashem, provides for His loved ones while they sleep. In other words, you can put so much work into something, but it's really for naught unless HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides for you. And that's something that it's important to recognize. We feel sometimes disappointments in life. We feel that we need to work harder. Sometimes we are in need of working harder. But at the same time, we also have to remember sometimes when things don't work out the way we think they're supposed to work out, there may be a message that Hashem is saying, this isn't meant to be. The words of Rav Hirsch, a man of faith knows that even if he were to expend all of his energies, neither sleeping nor resting, he will ultimately achieve nothing without God's help. That's the first point in this parak. The second point is related to raising children. Interesting, it sort of relates to this. And people put in work, and if they're zoche, if they're blessed to have children, it's a lot of work. It's very rewarding, but it takes a lot of effort. And the pasuk says something very interesting in reference to children, because the pasuk says, "Ashri hagever," praiseworthy is the man, "Asher milei es ashpaso mehem," that a person has their quiver filled with them. In other words, we're talking about a bow and arrow. They have, some sort of, it says quiver. Is that the term you're using? You put all the arrows in a quiver? I don't know. Yeah? Quiver. Okay. For those who know how to shoot long-range bow and arrow shooting, I saw that there's a place near here that has axe throwing, but I didn't see anyone doing archery. But I didn't do either of them. But it's interesting. Woodbridge. Okay. So why does it refer to? I think we have this phrase in English. It's like you're gonna help me out with this one. But when you say something's like something good, it's like something, a feather in the cap or something like that. So it sounds like something like that. It's a very strange metaphor for children to be like part of this, like an arrow, some sort of part of the quiver. So what's the understanding? So I saw an explanation from Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Weinrib. He said that what's the goal of parenting a child? The goal is that you have to pull back that bow and you have to propel them forward. And the force with which you and the guidance with which you give that arrow, it's going to propel it forward, and it will be able to then carry on its own until it lands. But that metaphor, I guess. Is over. But the point is that as much as you give direction and as much as you give that force and that power, you're empowering that child to move on its own. And there's a very important work called Chovas HaTalmidim, the obligation of the student. It's written by Rav Klonimus Kalman Shapiro, the Piazetzer Rebbe. And the first essay is actually not talking about the student, even though the work is called The Student's Obligation, it's talking to the parents. And his point there is such a profound point in general about life. And it's a point about parents and teachers that he says it's something we could take away for everything else. He says people make the mistake and they confuse the method of something for the goal. And he gives an example. We think that, what's education? It's discipline. It's making sure that they're behaving properly, whatever. It's tests, it's grades. But no. That's not education. That is the method. That's just, you have to have some sort of structure. You have to have checks and balances. You have to have but what's the goal? The goal is that what your values that you're teaching should transfer to the child even when they're outside of school. School is not the goal. School is a method by which you try to instill values so that when the child leaves the school, they actually do or live by some of the things that you did in school. We make this mistake a lot in life. We think that we mistaken the method for the goal. It's like the idea of friendship. Yes, you have a good time, you talk, you do different things, especially in dating when people want to know, how do I know if I really like this person? A good way to test it is just don't do anything. The silent test. You're out on a date, you're just sitting there doing nothing. You're just being together. We're not talking about it. If you feel comfortable, that means that it's going well. If you can't really, it's awkward. If you're just sitting there, then that's maybe indicative that there's not the friendship. Because friendship is not any one particular example or love or all these things. Those are the methods. Those are the ways in which you create relationship. But there's something there in and of itself. So that's the goal of education, is to propel the child forward so that in the metaphor, the arrow continues well after the archer is pulling the string.